And I'll bring us in here. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Geek Out podcast. I'm, as always, your host, Max Harley, and I'm here with Mason.
What's up?
Talon.
That's me.
And Luke.
Hello.
How have you guys been? Life treating you okay?
Can't
Hanging in
complain.
there.
Yeah. Well, we're what 6-7 weeks into the semester now, and it feels like we're in the middle of it, at least for me.
Yeah,
It
It's
really
felt
does
fast, but also feels like it's been forever as well.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Yeah. So, I'm just kind of like floating in existence of school, work, geek wave. I'm not really sure
It's like a
where
task
anything
manager, right?
begins. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's a game with a bunch of tasks, and it's like, all right, I have all of these working at the same time.
Yeah, my fan
bars.
is on high. Like I can hear it. It's computer's really hot right now, but we'll be okay.
Yeah, and some at some point I have to fit sleep into it all too, and
right.
It's a mess.
Wish I could be like Doctor Strange and just have my soul do the research while my body sleeps.
Oh, I wish.
I would not be responsible enough with the time stone to be in charge.
I don't think anyone would be. I don't think anyone would be. I just want to astral project, man.
I'd be like, oh crap, I forgot someone's birthday. Well, let's just rewind.
That's the time stream
I
that way.
like to believe that Doctor Strange doesn't do that. I'm sure.
I mean, that's the thing.
Why would he not? We
wouldn't know because things would just be normal for us. That's why he's so freaking smart.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he doesn't actually know anything.
And kept studying things.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of geeky stuff, shall we just jump on into it? Talon, why don't we start with you?
Oh boy, you're starting with me?
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple things that happened. I know that Mason's been geeking out about the Mario anniversary and Zelda anniversary coming up. Well, I have my own anniversary, the Blizzard anniversary, and Diablo. They dropped a bunch of Diablo news for the BlizzCon that was going on. Diablo 2 being remastered, being able to play that again is going to be awesome. It looks gorgeous. I'm very excited. And the other really awesome news is that they're bringing the Rogue back for Diablo 4 because the Rogue was amazing. If anyone has played Diablo here, feel free to encourage me to continue geeking out about this. But
well, for all of us who have never played Diablo, how about you give me the rundown?
Diablo is a dungeon crawler. It's like the OG game where you just go into dungeons and kill things, fast-paced. You've played Hades, right? It's similar kind of gameplay style to that,
right.
But you have a lot more. You have a lot more skills. You have a lot more stuff. It's not roguelite. I'm just trying to
control like a hack and slash.
No, it doesn't. But
it's similar to Hades somehow.
That's the kind of
take place in
game
hell.
that it is. Yeah,
biblical versions of it, but it's similar.
It's just I don't know. It's been a really long time since I've played it. The only thing that I'm very upset about is that it requires you to have an internet connection. And
they're doing that, aren't they?
There's something about that I just despise. Because you can play multiplayer, you can run through everything with your friends and stuff, all playing different classes, which is fun, but not really my speed. I like to solo everything. So
I wonder, is it for the Chinese government to be always watching your every move?
Exactly, that's what it is.
Oh man.
So that was honestly a terrible description of what Diablo is.
I'm hooked. I'm in, man.
But yeah, it's just
soul. That's all he needs.
It's one of those OG titles that really spurred off a great lineage of games that came after it, kind of like Castlevania did for all of the platformer roguelites.
Well, yeah, you've got an entire like genre basically named after it.
Yeah.
Metroidvanias.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, it's definitely not a style of game that's necessarily been as popular as Metroidvanias, but it's one that takes me back. The nostalgia is real. I'm very excited to get back into it.
Yeah.
I'm curious to check it out because it's interesting. I never really heard much about Diablo 3. It seemed like the reception from that is kind of lukewarm. But now that this
not a fan.
remaster, yeah, and
I heard
that's
the
kind of
loot system was the problem with that one.
Yeah, that's kind of the general consensus I've heard from it. But with this remaster of Diablo 2, all of a sudden I'm hearing everybody freaking out about it, and so I'm like, man, maybe I'll have to actually check this one out.
No, and Diablo 2, I mean, I never played Diablo, the first one, because that was a very old title. Diablo 2 was more around my time of growing up and playing games. And it was fantastic. Diablo 3 dropped the ball a lot. It didn't feel the same. The loot system is really what the problem was. It wasn't very well balanced and stuff. The patch they released for it and the DLC for it is supposed to have fixed that, but I never went back.
So here's my question, and I think this is pretty really prevalent right now in video games is these remasters that they're already. So would you rather see would you rather see like a new Diablo or rather than the remaster of Diablo 2?
That's the best part. We are getting a new Diablo.
Okay.
We're getting Diablo 4, which does look amazing. The gameplay that we've seen for it so far has been very enticing. And one thing that Blizzard's always done really well is their cutscene magic. The cinematography for the new title, like I was already hooked. I was like, oh my god!
If you haven't seen that trailer, look it up. It's insanely good.
Yeah,
like insanely good.
So yeah, it's not going to be Diablo this time. It's not going to be Satan or the classic enemies. What's her name? The lady devil.
Oh,
girl
the Flash
Satan.
lady.
Yeah,
Flash
Persephone?
lady.
No, not Persephone, and it's not Mephistopheles, which is the thing that's going through my head right now. It's a very obvious name, and we all know it.
Jessica.
Yep, that's it. You got it.
Karen. I'm gonna Google girl Satan.
Lilith.
Oh yes.
Lilith?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I knew it was a Binding Isaac of character.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's a something that's been played before, but no, I'm excited. It looks really cool, and they're bringing the rogue back, which is going to be exciting as well. And Diablo 2 being remastered is going to be a blast. Like I said, my only disappointment with that is that for both titles you have to be online to play. With
those remasters though, or sorry, with that remaster, Blizzard brought on Vicarious Visions, who did the remaster of Crash Bandicoot, that entire trilogy, as well as Tony Hawk Pro Skater. So
I did not know they did Tony Hawk.
They did. So I can almost guarantee that even if it is going to be online, there's no way it's going to be bad. It's going to be good.
Oh man, it looks so gorgeous. I mean, the resolution can now be not like the box. I'm really excited. I don't really know.
When does it drop?
Sometime this year.
We don't know yet.
I think their webpage says this is guaranteed to drop on or before December 2021. And so I'm like, awesome.
Cool. Anytime this year.
So specific.
Yeah, right? The other thing that I'm geeking out about is something that a lot of people are, but that's the Mars Rover. Perseverance has made it to Mars.
That's what I was going to bring to the table today.
Yeah, we can totally segue into you, Max, then, because
how dare you?
That's just such an incredible achievement. But it is funny. It's
very awesome.
How many rovers have we sent there now?
We've had 14 missions, and only, including this one, 5 has succeeded. And so this is the 5th rover, or no, the 4th rover on Mars.
4th rover, right? Mm-hmm. And we've kind of reached the point where I feel like the general public is like, well, this seems so easy. Why aren't we doing it more?
Oh my gosh, I wish I was watching. So I was watching that live at my work. I had it hooked up to a TV at my work, and I was just watching on the giant TV.
Yeah.
And like just reading the stats it was going through, I was like, oh, this is why this is very stressful and impossible, because it's 7 years of work. And the rover has 7 minutes to slow down from 10 times the speed of a bullet to about 5 miles per hour in 7 minutes.
That landing. And we have with the communication latency.
Yeah.
We can't fix anything. If something goes wrong.
There's a 12-minute communication latency. So during the 7 minutes of terror, which is the time it has to slow down and land, we're now 5 minutes late to find out whether or not that's succeeded or not, which is just insane. I mean, like, they also did new things with this one, though, where they actually had, like, a pseudo jetpack landing sequence instead of, like, that classic, if people remember that, where it's a pyramid made of balloons, and we just launched that, and it just tumbles for, like, an hour or two.
It just spins off.
Yeah, it just yeets itself. This time we had a jetpack system where it, like, was an actual... I can't describe it better than a jetpack that, like, hovered over it and then lowered it with a crane onto the surface and then just jetpacked away and crashed somewhere else.
Yep.
But yeah,
it's so cool.
It's one of the most advanced rovers we've put on Mars ever. It has it has HD cameras for one, and it's able to record all 360 the whole time it's there. So we're going to have like a Google Earth map soon of this, like, where the rover has gone, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's the first one to have a buddy with it. It has a little drone that it can deploy, and it will fly around for about a minute or two to scout the area and also film with an HDR camera. And it also is the first one to have what they like to call in the NASA room the poop, scoot, and shoot system, where it's collecting physical samples and then leaving those canisters to then be picked up by the drone. And in the next mission, we'll have an orbiting system in place that will then the drone will send up to the station, and that will send it back to Earth. So then we can actually see soil samples of Mars and figure out how to terraform from there.
Very cool. One step closer to getting Matt Damon up there.
Yeah,
exactly.
honestly,
we can leave him there.
This is the big one. This one was supposed to be like, let's figure out how to sustain Mars, how we can like actually start colonizing Mars, and it actually has oxygen canisters on it. That's going to try to pseudo start the greenhouse effect.
I say we do it the way Phineas and Ferb did it, and just shoot packets of grass.
There you go. That's honestly the easier. I don't understand why we didn't do that. We don't have to slow that down either. Just have it just smack into Mars.
It's right not the part, NASA. Come on.
It will. Grass will grow anywhere. Why not?
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Well, anywhere but my lawn. Right? Anywhere but the front of my house for some reason.
Well, I think you're thinking of like lawn grass. But if you shoot like that nasty, really long, thick card grass, that stuff will pop up anyway.
That I ate as a kid. Yeah,
that stuff.
Yeah.
all part of a balanced diet.
Exactly.
Send salads to Mars.
Yes.
But yeah, the Mars rover, I just found it fascinating and interesting. It's the most advanced one we sent up there, and like watching it live was just wild because I was just stressed out along with all the other like NASA people. It was just like they had this live stream and they're asking kids questions and that stuff live and whatnot, and then suddenly the 7 minutes of terror started and everything got cut off and we're just silently in the control room with them, and we're just hearing people just be like, yep. Oh, that's one thing that I just remembered that kind of angered me / made me laugh. They had a system in place so they would know whether something was going wrong with the rover or not.
Mm-hmm.
But how did they make that system? Like, how will they know that? Is it a light? No. Is it a number system? No, it's a heartbeat. It's a freaking heartbeat. Cool. And if the heartbeat increased, that means the rover was having trouble. And if it flatlined, it means it crashed.
Oh, well.
And it's like, so what monster decided to give this thing a heartbeat and send it off to space only for us to listen to it die, possibly? Like, oh, it was so stressful to hear that in the background. I had to switch to they had different feeds. I had to switch to another feed where it didn't have it, because I'm just like, I'm too emotionally attached to this thing now. I can hear its heartbeat.
Yeah, it's a really interesting way to go about it, huh?
Yeah. Creative, yes. Emotionally scarring, yes.
The stuff that I've thought has been really cool with the Mars rover and stuff is they've left some messages on the rover itself, like in Morse code. They have dashes, dots and dashes to send out a message, to have a message on that. But I guess the parachute had a message too.
Yeah, the parachute had a Morse code design on it, which was wild.
Yeah, and I don't remember what it was, but it popped across my feed. But I was like, "Are you serious, guys? Like, that's so amazing that they've taken the time to design a parachute with with Morse code on it." I think it was, I don't think it was Morse code. I think it was like some sort of hexadecimal code, because it was in a circle. But I don't know. I'm trying to find something about it right now.
That's probably why it takes 7 years, huh? It's not the
right,
build. It's just the Morse code on the things.
The rover was done 5.5 years ago.
Right.
They had to make the parachute in special code.
Exactly.
That was cracked in like 6 hours after it being on television. Man, but oh man, just watching it live and the emotions of everyone being so ecstatic and excited when it lands successfully, when they all get the success. Man, it's not a lot of just more amazing emotions in one room. It's incredible. That's the stuff that I really feel in my heart, is everyone cheering for all of the hard work that they've put into this project over the last 7 years.
Yeah, and they also, like you were saying, put plates on there of different designs and that stuff. There's actually a plate that's a COVID-19 tribute, showcasing that they were able to launch this even during the pandemic.
Yep.
Which is that's a fun, interesting little fact. And they also have a Mastcam-Z Are We Alone little tribute, which is just a gold plate with images of our evolution on it with colors. And I guess the plate lights up those colors in that order. And it says 2 worlds, 1 beginning. Wow. So a lot of fun tributes there. A lot of nerdy fun tributes.
Here we go. We're coming. The Expanse is going to happen in real life.
Oh yeah, and then one last thing I want to say about this is I did go on their website today just so I would be up to date on information, and I discovered they had a 3D model of the rover. So I'm 3D printing this. I'm going to figure out how to 3D print this. Definitely going to need to edit it a bit, like just cut off some parts and print them separately and then glue them on. But absolutely, I'm going to try to 3D print this thing.
Wonderful stuff.
Very so cool.
Yeah, I couldn't be more happy with everything that's happened over the last week.
Yeah, it's been a huge win, I think. I think we all needed a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
And I don't know how, but I somehow missed all of this until after it was all said and done. So it's cool to hear about all the other details about it.
Yeah, I did as well. I just saw the victory. I didn't get the stress. So it was...
Yeah, I don't know how I missed it.
And
honestly,
that was what was awful.
To go about it. It's just like, oh, we did it? Cool.
Yeah, I was
like,
at work.
Oh, that's cool.
I was at work. I knew it was all happening, but I couldn't live stream anything because of what I was driving and stuff. So I had to every stoplight I pop up my phone and be like, did we make it yet?
I felt bad because my work I definitely neglected some work duties that day that I didn't know about until the next day, and my employee was like, "Did you just not do these yesterday?" And I was like, "Whoopsie daisies, I definitely forgot." But I was watching the Mars Rover land.
Is on Mars.
Yeah, that's not something that happens every day. I think I think that's something worth celebrating, and being able to take some attention away from your daily tasks for. So.
Yeah.
Sure.
But that's just my opinion. All right, you wanna?
Yeah.
We can move on from.
Yeah, let's move on to rolling a dice, theoretical dice. Let's go to Luke here.
Sweet. So this week I've been geeking out over Little Nightmares. I just played through the first one. The sequel just got released a couple weeks ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was the original was 75% off on the eShop. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I think it might still be 75% off on the eShop for a couple days.
I need to jump on that if that's true.
Yeah, so it was $8 and
I'm just going to look that up really quick.
Super fun. I absolutely loved it. I'm not like I have a hard time with horror games, especially if they're like gory and bloody. But this one is like the tension is incredible. The art is amazing. The sound design was fantastic. Like I had so much fun playing through it.
That's awesome. I have never played Little Nightmares.
Oh, you're missing
It's
out.
kind of like have you ever played? It's like Limbo or Inside those games. It's very similar. Where it's just kind of like a puzzle platformer, and you're just this little dude with a lighter, and it's like super dark, and you're on some sort of boat, and people are trying to eat you. It's fun.
Oh,
it's still on sale right now.
Heck yeah, I'm gonna jump on that.
It's real fun.
It's because I was listening. I listen to too many podcasts, and one of them is called The Besties.
I love The Besties.
I love them too. It's so good.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
They talked more detail about it, and they were talking about how like it's very Germanic horror, which is to say Tim Burton's kind of like a good example of that, where he comes from that kind of horror-based design, and so it's very well done, where it's not like horrific to look at. It's just kind of unsettling to be around, but you don't want to leave. It has that whimsicalness to it.
It does. It's kind of like it is very, very Tim Burton-esque, like Coraline, not it's Coraline.
Yeah,
Coraline.
Or like, and it isn't stop motion exactly, but it kind of has that sort of vibe, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really good. Like,
I will say there was one negative review I got from my friend, and that's because this game is the sequel's labeled the co-op, and you see two characters. It is not cooperative with another person. It's you and an AI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is wild to me to think that's considered co-op, because if that's the case, there's a lot of games out there that are actually co-op. Hades is just a co-op game if you consider that, because you have AIs helping you. But I don't know, like that was kind of a disappointment to me, because I was looking forward to like going through this scary place with a friend or like with my girlfriend. So that could have been fun. Nothing's better than a horror night with your partner.
Yeah, I didn't play it. So I didn't play the second one. I only have played through the first one so far. So I didn't, and there's no cooperative element at all. So I didn't get any of that.
I wonder if they consider their AI so good that it is like playing with another person. Maybe that's what it is.
It might be it, because the AI, like the whole thing in the second game, the way it plays out, like mechanics wise, is it's a giant guiding quest, right? Or what's those quests mission? Yeah, it's basically kind of like a giant escort mission. But since it is a puzzle platformer, sometimes you'll get stuck, and your guide will sometimes stand up and like pick something up for you, or like try to wiggle an object, and that's supposed to be the AI like recognizing, oh, you need help. I'll have your buddy here go up and wiggle the thing that you can move, so you know that this object is movable and you can actually interact with this.
There's a lot of really cool accessibility options with something like that too. If you can like mess with the amount that they will help and stuff.
Oh yeah,
which is awesome. I like that idea.
I've already seen some footage of streamers streaming it, screaming at the AI to like hide, come on, it's coming. And it is just the funniest thing to watch these guys. I've seen like bookshelves fall on the AI. It's just the funniest. It's funny, but it's also terrifying, because you see this like thing with a giraffe-looking neck sliding through the room.
Yeah. That was one of the.
I'm really curious. I'm really excited to try it out. I'm a couple hours into the first one, and I'd put it down forever ago.
How big of a game is it?
I played through it in probably 3-4 hours.
I'm probably halfway done then.
Yeah, you're probably almost done. And the DLC is included in the one on the eShop, the first one. And so I didn't get through the DLC. It's more frustrating just because like the environment's the same, the story is essentially the same. So I got kind of over it. But the original playthrough, I had a really good time. Except my one complaint is the Z-axis was so poor at times, where it'd be like there's one particular part where you're going up stairs that sort of zigzag, and I would miss the stairs like every other time and just fall to my death. And so super frustrating.
Is there like is it like a 2.5D game then?
Yeah.
So there's
in a way.
Okay. Just some very, very small movements that you have to go back and forth.
Yeah, and it's usually what's frustrating is it usually doesn't like play into the action. It's just more of the exploring, and that's when I would die, which made it frustrating. Was like there's nothing getting me. I just fall because I miss a staircase.
Man, no one's done that as well as it's an ancient game back from, oh man, how old is this game? I have to double check the name because it's something that I picked up because of a class. One more, Another World.
I think I know that one.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, it's an old platformer puzzle game that is very brutal. I have not finished it because I am stuck, and I'm resisting the urge to look up playthroughs and stuff because I want to figure it out for myself. Another World.
Another World.
It's called Another World. Another World Remastered came out in like 2013, I think.
But a lot of Another World apparently.
The original
it's this game.
Yeah, the original one is a 1991 game, and it's fantastic. But there's stairs that you can go up and like walk past, and sometimes you want to go down. And the way that they handle it is very smooth because there's no Z-axis, but you just if you're walking at it from one direction, you'll go up the stairs. If you walk at it from the other direction, you'll walk past them. And there's subtle movements and stuff that indicate which direction you're going to be going. And I was very impressed with just the game design for this game that came out like almost 30 years ago now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
those old school games though are really fun.
I'm wondering if we're gonna start getting like 10-year anniversaries of 10-year anniversaries. Are we gonna get Halo Combat Evolved, the 10-year anniversary?
Honestly, I feel like
it. Evolved.
Cycle through 3 different graphics.
Yeah, which is wild because the graphics for the remastered edition are phenomenal.
They're so good.
And that came out 10 years ago.
Man, that's crazy.
Isn't that wild? Maybe it's not quite 10 years ago, but it's long enough ago that it's previous generation of all our consoles and stuff, and just I don't know, graphics amaze me. And I always, that feeling you get when you look at a game and it's like, oh, this looks so good, and then you look at it 10 years later and you're like, oh my god, I thought that looked good.
Oh man, the best is when you think that about a game 10 years later too, though.
Yeah,
right.
Like I would say that about Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. That game will forever look good. Mario Galaxy forever looks good.
That the artistic choices definitely plays a
it helps.
role
It helps with that, and I just think that's combined with graphics can really.
But games like Grand Theft Auto are never gonna feel that way because of the artistic choices that they make for the representation of characters and stuff in the world. So but I will let Mason close us out with a fourth thing that we're geeking out about.
I do want to say one thing real quick about Little Nightmares because I wanted to loop back to that real quick. I looked at the Nintendo eShop and I saw the thumbnail for the Nintendo trailer for it being on the Switch, and it is a kid screaming as some hands are coming at him out of his Switch.
It's so scary.
Like, what is this? And I looked at the commercial. I really hope they didn't show that during a Nintendo Direct, like right after something kids were watching, because it's genuinely unsettling already, and I'm not even at the scary part of it.
Right?
I don't think they featured it in the Direct. I can remember.
That would make sense too, honestly.
I feel like they shouldn't have, because I saw that picture too, and I thought it was such an interesting marketing choice. You want to have your kids pee their pants?
If they did, it was during a partner Direct, and it was only gameplay. And that would have been last year sometime.
That's what Nintendo needs, is more hardcore horror.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, they really
show
do.
them what Doom looks like now on the Switch.
I hear it. I mean, the first one ran incredibly on the Switch. Panic Button's amazing at porting things. They're insane.
Are you talking about Doom, the 1984 version?
All of the Dooms.
All of the Dooms?
I'm just kidding. I'm talking about the Doom 2018? 2016?
Yeah.
16? I haven't played Eternal on Switch. I got that on PS4, but supposedly they run really well.
Probably looks a lot better.
Oh, I'm sure.
On the PlayStation.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee it. But...
But if Doom 1984 playing smoothly on the Switch isn't something to be like, look how amazing this plays.
Listen, we can get that running on a TI 84.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Right?
I saw somewhere that they got it running on a pregnancy test.
Yep.
Oh my god.
So,
Yep, I saw that video. It was very entertaining.
it's so
That's
funny.
nuts. All right.
Man. That
Well,
devolved
okay,
quickly.
Mason, let's close out with you and what you brought to the table this week.
Well, I'm also geeking out about two things. Talon knows about one of these. The Legend of Zelda Joycon. Guys, oh my gosh.
So pretty.
They look
They're
good.
gorgeous.
Really cool.
They are stunning, and I'm so mad.
I need to buy another set of Joy-Cons too, so I'm like, all right.
I'm so angry because I think I was messaging Talon about this earlier, but they put them up on pre-order on GameStop and Best Buy, and they sold out within like 10 minutes. And I had managed to get a pre-order on GameStop, and then I got an email a half hour later that it got canceled.
Oof.
And so now I'm sitting
That
here.
shouldn't be allowed.
Bastards.
I was so mad.
That shouldn't be allowed.
I don't know what happened, man. But now I'm just like checking Amazon every so often because they still haven't put them up there.
I swear to gosh, if it's more bots,
Oh,
doing shenanigans.
it's gotta be. I'll drop a link in the chat for anybody who hasn't seen them. But I'm obsessed with them because one, I love Zelda. It's my favorite video game series ever.
Yep.
So the right one looks like it's styled after the Master Sword. The one on the left is styled after the Hylian shield. So you got like a darkish bluish purple on the right and a lighter blue on the left. And I just need these on my Switch.
Yeah.
Were you stoked about the Skyward Sword remake, or were you hoping for Breath of the Wild 2 news?
You know, I didn't anticipate Breath of the Wild to be talked about at all. In fact, when Aonuma popped up on the end of that direct and saw the dark background, I was like, he's gonna tell us that there's nothing.
Which he did.
Yeah, which is exactly what he did. He's like, hey, I don't have news for this, but hey, here's something else. I didn't expect there to be any Breath of the Wild 2 news, mostly because they had just so I wasn't anticipating seeing Breath of the Wild here because they were still promoting Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. They've got Monster Hunter coming out in March that they still need to promote. They've got Switches that they're trying to promote. So I didn't think that they would announce Breath of the Wild 2 here.
Which is so kind of weird because we know it's coming. Like we
Yeah.
know that it's there.
That's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know. I'm just thirsty for it, you know? So I was just
Oh,
hoping
same.
when I saw him pop up, I was like, oh,
Same.
come on, there's no way.
Here's the thing, though. Like,
And then there was
you guys
no way.
chose the right Nintendo child to get happy with. I'm the guy that chose the third one that is sitting over here waiting for them to acknowledge they made Metroid Prime and that they
You are not
announced
alone.
Metroid Prime 4. And I'm just like, cool. No news about that. No backwards ports either. I love it. Love it.
Yeah,
Love
seriously.
I would
the
love to
respect you
see.
show this franchise.
I think what they should do is release the trilogy, the Metroid Prime trilogy, because people are going to need time to play that before Metroid Prime 4 comes out.
Yeah,
So
put it
if
on
they wanted to
Switch.
acknowledge Metroid's anniversary, a really good way would be to just say, hey, here's the trilogy, go ahead and knock yourselves out while we work on Metroid Prime 4, because that's not
Would
coming out
also
till
be
23 or
great.
24.
It'd be great because that trilogy they released doesn't have GameCube controller support. They deleted
I don't
that
think
from the first two, and I was like,
think-
why?
I think what they're going to end up doing is completely revamp the controls for the GameCube ones. They're going to do the twin sticks controls, because why wouldn't they?
I have huge hopes for that after seeing the Skyward Sword one. I'm like, did they not do other controls besides motion controls for this one? Because I remember that was a problem for a lot of people with the Wii, but with the Joy-Cons, it seems much easier.
I was really
their
impressed with
software.
their Pro controller
Controls
as because I was not expecting that at all. So I was kind of stoked about that.
But like as we saw in the like showcase, they showed that like, oh, don't worry, we also have an alternative to the motion controls. So it's like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of had to, because they've got the whole Switch Lite audience to cater to now that doesn't have.
Oh, that's right.
They don't have motion, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about that.
So yeah, using the right stick as the sword is going to be a really good alternative for those people.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll be a great accessibility feature as well.
I think it'll be really interesting gameplay too. I can't think of another game that kind of uses the weapon in that sort of way where you're using the stick to move the weapon. Like I can't think of anything like that. Seems super unique.
You know what I hated? Mario Odyssey and having
Whoa.
okay, Mario Odyssey is great.
Those
Mario
are
Odyssey
fighting
is great.
words.
I hate the motion control
Yeah.
attacks that you have to use to accomplish certain things.
I just bailed on most of them because like you can get away,
Right?
you know, without doing your
Yeah,
stupid flick.
And I'm the psycho that went for all 999 moons.
Man, I've tried
I couldn't
like
get
3
enough.
or 4 times. Like I can
couldn't
do
get
it this
enough
time.
of it, guys.
I thought that was a little rude of them to do, to make there be some moons that you couldn't get without using the motion controls.
Well, it's interesting because Sunshine did that too, where they would have all these different ways to control Mario, but they would never teach you how to do it. You just kind of had to learn to do it. So with Odyssey, it was like you had all these ways to control Mario that you didn't necessarily have to do.
Right.
But for advanced players, it gave them a way to navigate the world a little bit faster and get to places you probably shouldn't get to and all that stuff just by being good at platforming and that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really cool to see them change and alter the controls for Skyward Sword to reflect people that don't necessarily want to use the motion controls this time around. I probably will, just because I liked the controls for Skyward Sword in the first place. Right. I'm just hoping there's some quality of life improvements, because as fun as fighting Demise 10 times is, I'd like to do that a little less. But
quality of life is always the thing you hope they aim for most.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I just realized we're going to probably, as soon as that comes out, we're going to have a ton of people 3D printing the Master Sword Joycon attachment that someone's going to 3D model. They probably already have at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can actually swing a sword and have a shield while you play through it.
Oh, that'd be so
cool. Pretty fun. That'd be fun.
If someone doesn't model that, I will, honestly.
Pix or it didn't happen.
Yeah, right? We'll get the stream going and I'll start 3D modeling on that.
Perfect.
Yes.
Anyway, so along with
so
those
many
Joy-Con,
great things.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah. But along with those Joy-Cons, the other thing I was geeking out about this week, more actual video game, was Bowser's Fury.
Yeah, how is it?
I'm honestly so surprised at how much I like it. It's
really
very different from. It's weird because it's like a combination of 3D World and Odyssey. So you've got like active power-ups throughout, which hasn't really happened much in the 3D Mario space aside from Galaxy, but like you keep the power-ups instead of them being timed. And so you kind of go from like island to island. You can do them in any order you want. And then meanwhile, you've got Godzilla Bowser attacking you at random. But it's just really clever with the way it's structured. It's not super long. It's like 6 hours or something like that. I just had a blast with it. I just thought it was really creative, and I hope to see them utilize that in the next 3D Mario title. Yeah,
you wonder with certain, when they release things like that, is that them kind of giving you a teaser of like what the next title is going to be like? That's often what I think about. So, and that'll be really cool then if you can like hold on to power-ups in 3D Mario space, which I don't really remember anything that would let you do that in 3D. I haven't played all the titles, so like I would not.
There's not one that you really isn't
held on to some.
If they have them, it's timed. So like in Mario 64, you had the flying cap that you'd have for a little bit, or Mario Galaxy, you'd have the fireballs for a timed amount of time. That was hard to say. So yeah, it was kind of cool to see them.
In Galaxy, there's the bee suit. You get the bee suit, right? When you have the bee
I guess that's true.
That's not timed. I'm just trying to think of other ones that aren't timed. But if you land in water, you lose it.
You lose it immediately. Yeah. Whereas, the big focus of this is obviously the cat suit with 3D World. Yeah. I don't know how they got to cats, but that you can have all the time, which is fun. But.
What I've kind of seen as I've watched, it kind of seems like if you don't have the cat suit, the game, like Bowser's Fury, is not as fun. Like
it definitely is a lot easier to navigate with the cat suit.
Yeah. Seems pretty oriented around the cat suit.
Yeah.
But can you speed run it now? That's the real question.
I've already started practicing. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I think there's like 100. I think they're called cat shines. You only need 50 to beat it, but you can get up to 100, I think. But I will not be surprised if I see speedruns get it under an hour. It's pretty easy to get through, but it's fun.
Well
then, runners.
Freaking speed runners.
Oh,
Got game came out. Okay, I finished it.
Yep.
it downloaded and then I finished it.
Right.
I wonder if that's ever happened where someone's like, yeah, I have the fastest internet and I downloaded the game and then I timed myself speedrunning it and I beat it faster than it took me to download it. That'd be
No,
wild.
that should be a thing for sure.
New challenge.
Yeah.
New challenge.
Beat the game
Beat it
faster
before
than
it downloads.
Or I think we should just tack on download time to the speedrun time.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
The download speed run.
Average.
Oh my gosh.
Only the elite can really get that time below.
Oh,
You see that with the PS5 title with like a 60 gig game. Speedrun tier.
You have to have 1 gigabyte of tethered fiber.
Oh my goodness.
All right. You want to wrap it up, Max?
Yeah. Well, that's been this episode of Geek Out. Hope you guys enjoyed geeking out with us. Hope you maybe learned something, and maybe you found out about a game that you might want to try out later. Not saying any names, just a little game. It might give you nightmares, but it's a great game. You should definitely check it out. Anyways, that's it for us today, and we'll see you guys next time.
Geek out.